Okay, I'll share the QR code for the attendance. Please mark your attendance first. Yeah.
Dah madam.
Okay. Praveen done?
Belum madam. Tak boleh register. Belum register lagi.
Belum register lagi. Okay, tak apa.
Ah,
Praveen, you punya airdrop, you masukkan at geotag je kan?
tak, dah ambil Jotek.
Bukan borang airdrop hari tu. Yang you send.
Ah,
Borang airdrop tu, you isi borang manual tu, you isi geotag saja. Subjek lain you kena buat dalam sistem.
okey okey.
Okay. So
Ah,
you dah contact finance ke?
dah bayar semalam.
Semalam.
Ah,
So you tunggu dalam besok atau lusa you follow up balik lah kalau tak boleh lagi.
okey okey.
I think maybe esok settle kot. Maybe lah. Nanti you update dengan madam.
Okey.
Okay, actually ada lagi 2 orang student. Miza dengan Kayla. I think dia orang tidur juga ni. But I will proceed without them lah. Okay. So this lab 3, I already check lah kan. Is offer because untuk Faiz kan. Final semester before he went to LI. Okay. So most of you dah ada prerequisite. I think Kila and Miza, they are taking another one prerequisite, the same prerequisite on the current semester. So it should be okay lah. Okay. So lab 3, it is a group work. So I think there will be 2 groups lah. One group Faiz and Praveen. Second group will be Miza and Kila. So is that okay? You guys okay
Okey
tak?
madam. Okey.
Okay. Okay, so madam brief a bit for the subject. Okay, basically there are 4 course outcome for lab 3. Okay. So first one, there is a application for the concept of concrete, hydraulics and environmental studies. Okay. Okay, so the materials I have upload lah in the e-learning, so you can check after this. Except for the concrete, not yet because I just received the materials from Madam Rabita. Okay, so second course outcome is you are supposed to demonstrate the principle of concrete properties, hydraulics and environment and develop your proficiency using laboratory equipments. Course outcome number 3, you are supposed to know how to interpret the result, assess margins of error, and you are supposed to have confidence in the observations, and you should know how to make a conclusion and develop your lab report lah. Okay, so course outcome number 4, which is the last one, you are supposed to work effectively as a part of team. Okay, so that's why the subject task is given as a group not individual. Okay, so kalau tak cukup student ni, so subjek ni tak boleh offer lah. Okay, so I have upload lah the materials for environmental and hydraulics. Okay, concrete belum lagi because concrete saya baru dapat material daripada Madam Rabita, tapi saya kena susun dulu lah. Okay, so these are some of the materials. I think 70% lah of the important materials are here. Okay, so I will start with this with the turbidity. Okay, and also I'll cover also for today, hopefully for the pH test. Okay, before that, I would like to inform that I will actually I already resigned. Okay, I already sent my resignation. So my last day will be 15th of May. Okay, so all the lab reports and the works should be submitted to me before my last day. Okay, before my last day. Okay, for the submission, I will create the submission in the e-learning. Okay, but because for the current week we are conducting the classes online, right? Most of the classes online. Uh, you are supposed to have demonstration whereby this demonstration will be conducted by the technician. Okay, so what is our plan? Um, I will finish the briefing for the experiments. Okay, so after Raya, you are supposed to discuss with the technician for demonstration. Okay, when you will conduct. Okay, so the technician will confirm several dates, but you are supposed to finalize the date for me because I will keep your attendance in the laboratory. Okay, as a proof that you attend the experiments and so online, you do the demonstration. However, the technician will do not all experiments lah. I think when you enter, maybe 2 or 3 experiments lah. The technician will conduct on the same day. Okay. Okay. So by tomorrow, okay. So group 1, Praveen and Faiz, you need to finalize lah with madam when will be the dates lah, and also with group 2 make sure you comes together lah, even you are different groups, right? Group 1 and group 2. So Miza and Kila will be the second group. Make sure all of you attended the demonstration together. Okay. And then sort, because all the demonstration should be finished before my last day. Okay, so at the current attendance, I will just, for the current one, I have include uh, for my for my current briefing. Okay, this one is does not included yet for the lab attendance. Okay, so the lab attendance, I will create another second attendance lah here. So but then you need to finalize with me when is your plan, because I need to schedule the dates for your lab. Okay. So basically in the course information, the subject is having 1 credit, right? But the plan is you are supposed to have 1 hour for briefing, 1 hour for lecture, and also 1 hour for laboratory. The one should be done in the lab. Okay. So since I have conducted the class for 2 hours, right? 2 hours. Okay, so you'll be having a different attendance or schedule lah for your lab. Okay, so is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, kalau face to face is 1 hour lecture, 1 hour lab. Okay, dalam schedule. Okay, so since saya conduct class 2 hours, because class kita online kan, so saya terus habiskan dulu briefing for the experiments. So you punya schedule untuk lab tu, you kena schedule dengan technician waktu lain, bagi tahu saya waktu hari apa, pukul berapa. Okay, so all of you have to discuss lah. Lepas discuss, confirm dengan saya untuk saya createkan attendance lah, lab attendance. Okay, so jelas
Dengan technician tu lepas raya kan?
Apa dia, saya tak dengar.
Yang apa? Dengan technician tu lepas raya kan?
Lepas raya. Lepas raya lah, you
Ah.
discuss lah. Okay.
Oh, minggu dalam dua tiga kali pun boleh kan?
Kalau lepas raya, sebab you kena settlekan sebelum minggu ke-6, because maksudnya
Oh, okay.
kita last tu minggu ke-5 lah. Okay. 15 saya bulan 5 tu maybe saya pun tak sempat nak pergi lab and so on lah kan, because the technician will be there lah. Okay, tapi try to settle before 15 bulan 5 because saya perlu masa nak marking because the lab ni bukan is in my expertise lah. So saya nak kena takes time lah to mark, and then after that saya dah tak boleh access. Saya dah minta untuk diorang extend saya punya access to e-learning macam beberapa hari lah. Okay, so make sure you submit everything macam mana yang saya inform untuk schedule. Okay, because nanti kalau you submit saya tak boleh nak download all the materials and marking, so will be trouble. Okay, so try to follow lah. Okay.
Semuanya medium nak soft copy atau nak
Soft
hard copy?
copy. Soft copy submit dalam, nanti saya create assignment dalam ni
Okay.
Okay.
Hard copy tak payah hantar.
Hard copy tak payah hantar. Soft copy saja
Right.
Okay, tapi bukanlah semua tu hantar semua tu hantar by before 15 Mei. You kena hantar sikit-sikit dululah. Macam maybe minggu depan saya akan minta dulu eksperimen mungkin minggu ketiga saya akan minta eksperimen 1, 2, 3, 4 contoh. Okay. So you kena prepare lah because saya faham memang agak rushing, tapi try to schedule because nanti lepas minggu ke-6 dan seterusnya sehingga minggu ke-14 you all dah tak ada kelas lab. Okay, means dah settle for the subject Okay, so jelas saya inform awal
Okay, madam.
Okay, any question Praveen? Any question?
Tak ada, madam.
Miza?
Saya okey.
Okay so jelas minggu ke-15 sudah kena settle lah. Sekejap Okay. Okay, so Madam start briefing dulu Okay, cuma Madam bagi tahu awal lah because lab 3 is not dalam bidang Madam lah so Madam just roughly briefing how the procedure and so on. Tapi I think you all pun dah lebih familiar because topics tu mungkin relate dengan previous subject ataupun prerequisite subject that you have been taken before. Okay. Okay, so saya start dengan eksperimen 1 regarding turbidity test. Okay, so basically dia ada 3 part kan. One is hydraulics and environmental and then concrete lah. Okay, so yang concrete saya belum upload lagi sebab baru dapat daripada Medan Rabita, so saya belum sort lagi properly. Okay, but these are the important materials lah. Okay, so saya decide untuk buat this part dulu, turbidity, pH test dengan kalau sempat kita cover juga chlorine test Okay, so untuk kelas yang hari ni, maksudnya kita cover lecture untuk dua kelas Okay, kita cover lecture untuk 2 kelas. Okay, so yang 1 jam lagi untuk lab tu kira nanti you sort dengan technician kemudian lah so nanti saya akan ambil attendance lah, saya akan dapatkan info daripada technician. Okay. Okay, so untuk turbidity test these are some of materials lah Miss has been sent to me. Okay, so the first experiment is to measure the penetration value of asphalt. Okay, so these are the tools H turbidity meter model 2100P. This is the one, I'm not sure lah, this whether this tool is in the lab or not. But this is the standard tools. Okay, then you are supposed to have sample cell. Okay. So for this introduction, Madam bagi dalam lebih kurang 1 minit untuk you baca, boleh, for the introduction? Okay, dah?
Dah minum.
Praveen?
Dah minum.
Niza?
Dah, madam.
Okay. Okay, so from the things that you read kan, what is the clear definition to describe lah untuk turbidity? Can I ask to Praveen?
Hmm. The hmm, the cleanness of water.
Sorry?
The cleanness of water.
The cleanliness of water?
The cleanness.
The cleanliness of water.
Ah,
Okay, so bolehlah CP-CP lah, okay. Okay, so turbidity ni di translate ditafsirkan sebagai insoluble particles yang masuk dalam passage of light through water. Okay, so dipanggillah turbidity. Okay, basically units ada, kalau dalam introductions ni dia ada mentions Jackson turbidity units dengan nephelometric turbidity units. Okay, so Miza, what is the difference between these two units? Apa beza? Miza ada tak? Miza? Tak ada respon. Faiz?
you minum.
Okay, apa beza antara dua unit ni? Beza.
Alat yang alat yang digunakan.
Okey, kalau yang JTU, dia salah satu tools lah, standard tools lah kan. Tools yang agak lama lah. Okey, cuma kalau NTU ni digunakan untuk tools selalunya untuk treated drinking water. Okey, ada beza dia kan.
Hmm.
Okay. So, so this is figure lah untuk hatch turbidity meter dengan sample size bila kita nak buat test. Okay, so some of the procedure. Okay, first one, switch on you punya meter and then leave for 10 minutes to achieve stability. Okay, number 2, choose you punya appropriate NTU range standards form. So this is standard yang because bila you buat test, you are going to test something, you kena ada data recorded lah. Okay, so these are some preparation you have to standby. Okay. Okay, next put 10 milliliter wastewater sample into the cell. Okay, then duplicate for each sample to ensure accuracy, and then put the standard into sample well and close the light path. Okay, very important lah step number 5 ni. Okay, and then remove the standard and put the cell in the sample well, close the light path. 7, read the scale and record the reading. And then if the reading is more than 90 NTU, so dilute the sample with distilled water and take the reading again. Okay, and then once you finish, you need to clean lah the cell after use, and then make sure the cell is not scratched or touched, and then test on different level for the water sample lah to relate your turbidity level. Okay, so dalam prosedur ni bila you nak collect data, of course lah, maybe some issue you be facing lah. Okay, make sure you follow the procedure properly, and then you need to compute lah. Maybe the one that you recorded, it is a bit different from the actual one lah. So that's one you have to justify lah. Okay. Okay, next this is some of what yang tadi turbidity untuk eksperimen 1. This is adapted from FW-PCA methods for chemical analysis of water and waste. Okay. These are some macam lab lab guideline lah. Okay. Okay, so this guideline show you about the preparations, the instrument ataupun your apparatus. Dan some guideline lah mesti mention sample cell orientation. Okay, this is the figure for your sample cell. Some item that you need to make sure before you starting the procedure. Okay, this is something yang it is not explained lah tadi dalam procedure. Okay, but this is just if you can apply additional according to this example for your lab guideline, then yeah, it goods lah. Okay, items to collect. Okay, you are supposed to collect at least 2 samples and so on. Okay, and this is some reminder lah, collect sample in clean glass, preserve sample for later analysis and so on. Okay, then this is the picture. Okay, from step 1, 2, 3 and so on lah. Okay, this maybe ada a bit different sikit daripada prosedur tadi. Yang ni dia macam very general one, dia ada additional tools ataupun apparatus lah. Okay. Okay, so dalam lab report, once you have you punya data collection, you need to interpret lah. Okay, so these are some of your things you need to observe during you do the experiments. First one, air bubbles, color and the temperature extreme. Okay, so how to observe? So air bubbles ni you tengok dekat different level for the water. And then color, see whether the color absorbs light at the measurement wavelength. And then about the temperature, sometimes you need to check lah juga temperature before and after or during. Okay. When you have samples, so kemungkinan you can ada what we call um, beberapa nilai yang measure dia different, okay, due to this temperature lah. Maksudnya kalau you biarkan sampel tu lama dekat atas meja dan sampel tu dalam tidak ditutup, kan, so biar terbuka, so dia akan affect juga you punya results. Okay, so untuk analisis, these are some calculation ataupun accuracy check lah. Okay, so item for the checking for the accuracy, I'm not sure lah this one is same exactly in the lab or not. Nanti you tanya technicians ah. Okay, you tanya technician. Okay, so this is accuracy ataupun standardized that you should know lah. Okay, prepare these things for Mason standard solution as mentioned in item A and B. Okay, and then use the test procedure to measure the concentrations and then compare the expected result to the actual result. Okay, so bila you nak buat comparison, of course you will comes out with some margin of error. Margin of error tu adalah beza antara you punya yang you collect data dengan you punya expected result lah. Okay, expected result. Okay, so there is a name of the error. Usually we call as relative error. So that relative error you need to show in your data collection, because after this you kena tulis report. And then comes out with you punya recorded data, and then submit lah as a full report. Okay, so dalam report you should mention name of the error. Okay. So precision you can measure by this one. Okay, the method performance follows was derived from laboratory tests. This is macam because tadi saya cakap maybe tools yang ada dalam lab guideline ni tadi tak sama, kemungkinan tak sama dengan yang ada dalam lab. Okay, dalam lab water. Okay, so bila you buat report, maybe you can use this kinds of table lah untuk you masukkan dalam report, tapi inside ataupun items in this table would be different kalau you guna tools yang lain. Okay, and then in your report you need to have summary ataupun conclusions lah about this stability test from the one that you conduct. So what is you punya conclusion ataupun summary. Okay, so these are some example for the summary. Okay, so the summary ataupun in your report you can modify according to your situation. Okay. Okay, so selalunya for each experiment you must have recommendations lah. Recommendation tu adalah untuk you put recommendations because sometimes when you do the collections you have margin of error in terms of relative error. You punya nilai berbeza lah daripada sepatutnya. Okay, so you need to state what is you punya recommendation untuk dapatkan result yang lebih baik. Okay, so recommendation ni you can recommend suitable one. Macam ni dia ada mentions lah. Dia kata recommended standards and apparatus. This is recommended recommended standard and apparatus. Maksudnya untuk dapatkan better result, guna alat ni, this kinds of apparatus, for example. Okay, this punya standard, so kita tak boleh ambil, mungkin daripada segi quality, these things are recommended. Okay, then other recommendations, and then this one is optional reagents and apparatus, for example. Okay, so in your report, find out, because you can get the sources from other references. So this one, janganlah ambil this exactly. Saya nak tengok report tu agak berbeza. Okay. Ada soalan tak about this stability? Ada soalan?
Ada.
Ravin, Miza?
Tak.
Tak ada. Okey, kejap saya sambung brief untuk eksperimen kedua. Tapi sebelum tu saya nak cari sikit jap Sekejap saya tak page lain pula. Okay, so format untuk report. Okay, lab report. Yang ni saya tak mention lagi which experiment Okay, so basically saya akan pecahkan the submission for two parts. Okay, so first part and second part. So first part nanti saya tengok dulu. Okay, which experiment yang akan submit. Okay, because sebab kita ada 3 subjects kan dalam lab ni. Okay, so mungkin the first, sebab dia setiap tiga bahagian subjek ni dia ada eksperimen 1, 2, 3. Contoh okay, eksperimen 1, 2, 3. Kejap, yang this one flow eksperimen 1 dan 2. Okay. Yang awal ni ada eksperimen 3. Okay. So I think yang saya dah upload dalam minggu ni punya eksperimen 1, 2 dan 3. These things. Okay. Saya letak submit 3 Mei. And then experiment the remaining flow and also include the concrete before 15 Mei. Before 15 Mei. Okay. So saya akan pecah 2 submission kepada 2 bahagian lah. So nanti saya akan create lah this one. Okay, so untuk lab report, these are the things that I will be looking inside your report. Okay, make sure you produce your own report. I am very strict with the plagiarism. Kalau saya tengok this report sama je dengan previous students punya report, I will just give 0 lah. Okay. Okay, so basically I can get the materials from other previous lecturer. Okay, they have. Okay. So kalau sama je result all these things, saya akan terus bagi 0 So I will not consider any plagiarism for the submission. Okay, so you kena guna form yang as the one that I upload here. Okay, cover page untuk lab report. Cover page this one, saya upload satu file saja, tapi because untuk bahagian awal ni, bahagian pertama based on first subject, turbidity, pH test dengan chlorine test. So dia adalah 3 eksperimen kan. Eksperimen 1, eksperimen 2, eksperimen 3. So you kena submit lab report for each of these experiment. So maksudnya kena ada 3 lab report lah. Okay, so cover page lab report guna yang ni, saya dah upload, fill up and then you tukar apa yang sepatutnya lah. Contoh, nama eksperimen untuk lab eksperimen 1 use stability. Nama eksperimen untuk eksperimen 2, so tukar kepada pH test. pH test. Okay, eksperimen 3 chlorine test. Okay, so and then fill up lah, use. So this one saya letak word file so that you can edit and then you combine this cover page dengan you punya lab report, you punya items. Okay, so dalam report tu, these are item that madam nak tengok. Items ni mesti ada. The first one, selepas cover page tu, you mesti ada table of content. Okay, table of content senaraikan that you ada introduction, objective, theory, apparatus, procedure untuk setiap eksperimen. Okay, and until one, last kali dia references. Okay, so table of content, make sure all you punya report ni letaklah number of pages. Okay, and then appendix appendix ni dia bukan dalam table of content lah. So dalam TOC you buat daripada introduction sampai references. Appendix jika berkaitan dengan raw data, you kena attach you punya data sheet, then signed by the technician. Bukan sign by saya because you're supposed to do the experiment in the lab and then should signed by the technician and then put any related picture as a proof you buat experiment tu in the lab and so on. Okay, ada soalan tak? Standard dia sama je untuk second part punya subjek ni. Kan, sub-subjek yang ni, bahagian kedua, sama je format untuk lab report and the items lah. Okay, and then ada bahagian ketiga untuk concrete. Okay, jelas tak?
Jelas madam.
Okay. Okay, so dalam report, sebelum table of content, tadi saya cakap first one cover page. Okay. Selepas cover page saya tertinggal which is sebelum table of content, you kena attach rubric. Okay. Rubric ni saya belum upload lagi kalau tak selesai. Nanti saya upload Rubric, attach you punya rubric. Attach semua rubric sebelum table of content. And then all together setiap satu eksperimen upload satu PDF file saja. Okay. So satu group hanya ada perlu seorang je yang akan upload the submission in the e-learning. Okay. So kalau group satu siapa nak upload antara Fuad ataupun Pravin. So you upload lah seorang je. So means that student yang sama yang saya akan check untuk the next lab report lah. Eksperimen 2, eksperimen 3 and then eksperimen 1 untuk concrete and so on lah. Okay. Ada soalan tak nak tanya? Pravin? Niza?
Tak ada madam. Tak ada.
Okay. So, madam sambung brief. Okay, madam sambung brief untuk eksperimen 2 regarding pH test. Okay, so experiment 2 is on pH test. Okay, so objective ni you should know how to determine the pH test of the given sample. Some of the apparatus here we have pH meter and the beaker. Okay, so this time for the introduction, madam bagi 2 minutes lah untuk baca. 2 minutes from now for the introduction. Okay, have you done?
Yes, belum.
Praveen, have you done?
Dan
Miza?
Dah.
Okay. Okay. This PH test ni you pernah jumpa tak subjek sebelum ni? Ada tak jumpa subjek sebelum?
ada. Ada.
Subjek apa?
Environmental.
Environmental? Ah, saya tak dengar.
Environmental engineering.
Environmental engineering. Okay, so why is it important for this PH test? Apa kepentingan ni kita buat PH test ni?
Nak tentukan sama dia.
Nak tengok?
Nak tengok dia jenis pH apa lah.
Hmm,
Dia asid kuat atau asid lemah.
yelah, kita nak tahu dia level berapa pH tu untuk apa? Apa kepentingan kita buat pH test ni? Itu dia punya fungsi, tapi apa kepentingannya? Apa kepentingan dia, Miza?
Nak tahu air tu selamat ke tak?
Okay, nak tahu kualiti air tu lah. Okay. So, kualiti air tu sama ada kualiti yang kita minum, kita guna. Okay. And so on lah. Okay, kualiti air. Okay, so pH, it can be measured lah based on the level. Kalau pH bawah 7, acid or alkaline? pH bawah 7. Tak tahu ke macam mana?
Alkalin.
Bawah 7, bawah 7. Alkali. pH bawah 7. Alkali ke ataupun acid?
Asid.
Acid. Okay. Acid lah. Bawah 7 acid. Kalau neutral berapa pH dia? Dia bukan acid, dia bukan alkali. Dia neutral. Maksudnya neutral. pH dia neutral.
7.
7. Atas 7 alkali kan? Okay. So untuk pH test, these are some of the apparatus lah the pH meter and the beaker. So this is the simple procedure. Okay, so you have this one. Nanti this item you check with the technicians lah whether is still valid or not lah for you to conduct the experiments. So you turn on and then press mode to enter the pH mode with auto lock on. Then raise the pH electrode probe with distilled water and immerse the probe into the sample and remove air bubbles that trap. Okay, and then allow the pH reading to stabilize. You need to take time lah. Okay, and then record the reading when the reading display. Okay, so this one you have to show lah. You punya what is your data recorded. Okay, kejap Madam ada satu video. I will play the video tapi kejap Madam akan stop sharing kejap. Kejap Madam have to share the sound first. Boleh dengar tak? Boleh dengar tak sound?
Boleh, madam.
Boleh
Dengar.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Greg Greenberg from Hanna Instruments. Today I'm going to introduce the HI8314 portable meter that measures pH, millivolts, and temperature in degrees Celsius. Let me show you what's in the box. When your meter arrives, it'll come in this rugged plastic carrying case, complete with a calibration certificate for the meter, a testing certificate for your pH temperature electrode, the electrode instruction guide, the meter, pH temperature electrode, the all-important instruction guide, quick reference guide if needed, some buffers, and cleaning solutions. Next, let's talk about some features. Now that I've installed the batteries and connected the probe, I'm ready to turn the meter on. The first thing I'm going to see is the battery indication level, followed by the pH reading. Now, if I want to see the pH reading in millivolts and or connect an ORP probe, I simply hit the millivolt button to see that reading. If I want to see the temperature, I hit the temperature button, which displays in degrees C. And when I'm ready to calibrate, I hit the pH button and go right into the calibration mode. Now, an awesome feature about this meter is the fact that you have on-screen instructions for calibrating the probe. Next, let's use the meter. Before using a new probe for the first time, it's very important to condition it first. As you can see here, I've taken the liberty of putting the probe into a storage solution. In this case, it's HI70300. If you don't have a storage solution, that's okay. You can put it in a buffer as well. I'm going to leave this in the storage solution for approximately 2 hours. Once the 2 hours is up, I'm going to take the probe out, rinse it off in purified water, then dry it on a paper towel. Now I'm ready to calibrate. I'm going to turn my meter on, let it go into its startup measurement mode, hit the calibration button. Okay, and now we can follow the on-screen instructions and do the calibration. So it's asking me to put the probe into a 7 buffer solution, which is what I've just done. And I'm going to let that take a reading. Now, the meter says 6.99. So what I want to do is I want to adjust the offset to 7.01. So I'm going to turn the knob. Now I can turn the knob either with a screwdriver or a coin. So I've gotten it to 7.01. Now it's going back to 7.02. So I'm going to give it a little tweak and we're at 7.01. I'm going to push the pH button. And depending on my next, or what I'm going to measure, if it's an acid or a base, I'm going to choose either a 4 or a 10. So in this case, Since I'm going to measure something that's acidic, I still want to rinse my electrode off, dry it, and put it into a 4 buffer. Let it adjust. As you can see, the numbers are moving. Now it's at 4.09, 4.10, so it's hovering around those numbers. So I think it's time for me to make the adjustment, which I'm going to do by using my coin and just adjusting the slope trimmer down to 4.01. Very easy to do. Okay, now I'm at 4.01. I simply push the cow button, and my meter's ready to use. One final tip. Before you put your meter away, it's very important to keep your probe conditioned. So what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of storage solution, pour a little bit into the cap, and put the cap back on the electrode, and it's good to go for the next time. If you don't have a storage solution, again, it's okay to use a buffer. In the event that you ever have drifting or erratic readings, it could be an indication that your probe is dirty. We offer cleaning solutions as well. I hope you enjoyed my demonstration of the HI 8314. If you have any questions,
Okay. Okay, so the video. Okay, ada soalan tak pasal video tadi? For second experiment. Soalan?
Tak ada.
Tak ada. Okay, kejap Kita break kejap 2 minit. Media sambung balik untuk eksperimen 3. Okay, dalam 11-5 minit kita resume balik Okay, semua dah ada ke?
Madam,
Yuk.
attendance punya password macam mana?
Ya, attendance sekejap saya share. Nampak tak skrin madam?
Nampak?
Ni.
Sekejap Okay.
Okay, so untuk eksperimen 3 Okay, eksperimen 3 berkenaan dengan free chlorine test. Okay, so untuk conduct free chlorine test eksperimen ni, so dia ada standard method yang you kena tahu nama standard method adalah examination of water and wastewater. So untuk chlorine test ni, objektif dia adalah untuk tahu berkenaan concentration of free chlorine for a given sample. And then you have basically ada 5 apparatus that you should have. Okay, so you ada spectrophotometer, beaker, sample cell, and then we have what free chlorine reagent powder pillows and distilled water. Okay. Okay, so untuk introduction, Madam bagi you untuk baca dulu dalam 3 minit 3 minit. Okay, 3 minit untuk baca introduction Okay, have you done?
Dah.
Faiz dan?
Dah bila?
Okay, Pravin?
Dah madam.
Okay, so Madam nak tanya what is the uh, function chlorine ni? Apa function chlorine?
Untuk treat water.
Untuk treat water. Okay. So actually dia macam tadi eksperimen tu kita nak pH test. Kita buat pH test. So kalau untuk chlorine ni kita nak macam nak sanitize air tu lah. Fungsi dia lah lebih kurang ataupun nak bleachkan air, because dalam air bila kita ada air tu dia mungkin ada microbes dalam tu, so is to treat the water. Okay, so kita guna chlorine Okay, untuk buat free chlorine test, so this figure show you punya spectrophotometer and sample set that's required, and you punya the procedure is first one you turn on you punya device and then select 80 chlorine F and T, then fill around cell with 10 milliliter of sample, then label. Okay, then wipe the blank and place it to the cell holder. Touch 0 and make sure you know lah the display is supposedly the display show 0.00 punya measurement lah. And then fill a second round cell with 10 milliliter. Add the contents of 1 dpd chlorine powder kilo to the sample cell. And then label lah. You can label lah. Label for each sample different one. Then observe lah. Is there any change of color? Okay. And then swirl sample for 20 seconds to mix. And then place the prepared sample into the cell holder. And then touch read lah to read, okay, to get the value of chlorine for the sample. Okay, so these are some basic procedure for the free chlorine test. Okay, and this is another material that you should know. Okay, so this is the lab guideline what to show later on in your report. The first one, the instruments specifications. Okay, this is example. So again this part you need to verify with the technicians is any of these device are in the lab. Then we have regarding you punya table region additions, how you add the region. Okay, the instrument specific informations, and these are some items that you should know before you conduct the procedure lah. Okay, before starting later you can read madam tak go through in detail lah And then item that you should know how to collect the reading. Okay, this one. And then in the process of sample collections, make sure you need to take notes. Analyze the samples immediately, so the sample cannot be preserved for later analysis. Okay, this one I think standard one lah. Kalau you buat mana-mana proses, as long as unless kalau macam eksperimen tu memang you kena wait for macam 30 minutes or 1 hour, different one lah. Tapi this one when you want to test, usually kita tak biar lama, so the data should be taken lah directly. Okay, so there are some items that you need to take extra questions. These are the figure explaining the process, basic process. Maybe some of the procedure maybe tak sama dengan prosedur yang saya explain tadi lah. Mungkin a bit different because I think this lab guideline they are use maybe a different maybe sebahagian different apparatus and this one lah. Okay, for example. Okay, so later on dalam dalam you punya procedure dalam lab report, okay, the one that you conduct the procedure, you can state directly lah which one that you are following. Maybe you combine a bit procedure macam ada sikit dekat sini, ada sikit dekat procedure tadi. Okay. Maksudnya you punya maybe extra detail. So you, it should be okay lah. Jangan berbeza sangat lah. Okay. Bila you buat lab experiment tu, sepatutnya follow lah exactly the process lah. Okay. Untuk interpretation of your data collections lah, untuk you punya results, you are supposed to observe the acidity, alkalinity, and then this BR2, okay, chlorine dioxides, inorganic chloramines, the hardness, okay, and either things lah macam oxidized chromium and so on lah. I'm not sure whether these things, right, when you want to interpret, I'm not sure whether the tools that you have is able to work or not. Okay. Okay, so untuk acidicity, you punya interpretations ataupun interference level, okay, for example, you need to observe lah, is it more than or less than on certain range, and then mentions about the color, okay, and then some adjustment that you do for the pH, you need to mention lah, okay, and then similar to alkalinity lah, kita mesti ada level for the alkalinity kan, based on the device that, or the tools that you use lah for reading. Also observe about the color, and you need to do the adjustment for the pH. Okay, for the BR2, CiO2 and so on, look at for the positive interference at all levels. Also for the chloramines here. Okay, and then for the hardness, for these tools, the effect should be no effect at less than 1000 milligram per liter. Okay, and then for this item, if it's required lah, kalau related lah with the tools that you have in the lab, and then look for the pre-treat the sample lah. Pre-treat you punya water sample, okay, something like adjust the sample pH, or maybe add drops of potassium iodide, some mixing that maybe you need to require, and then another drops for this item. Okay, and then maybe some repetitions of procedure you need to measure, and then compare lah, basically compare your results from the actual one lah, to see what is the correct chlorine concentrations. Okay. Okay, and then the remaining items, this one you can observe lah, if it's related lah, medium tak cakap this compulsory, but if it's related with the device then you have in the lab, then you can add lah, similar case. Okay, I'm not saying that you're supposed to get exactly with this lab guideline. Okay, for the accuracy value that you are supposed to compare. Okay, these are some here stated. Use standard additions method to validate the test procedure, and then look for your punya reagents and instrument lah. Okay, these are some things that you need to look for lah. Okay, this one. Okay, so dekat sini, I'm not sure the graph is compulsory or not, but I need to check first. Kejap. There's a graph. Okay, kejap bagi saya share dulu. Okay, so graph tu nanti Madam finalize balik kejap because Madam kena stop recording dulu, tapi belum nak stop recording kejap Madam bagi Madam habiskan briefing dulu about the lab. Okay, so graph ni nanti madam confirm balik lah whether should include or not in the report. I think kalau include should be better lah. Okay, and then we have method performance. This is contoh bila you conduct experiment, so lab guideline untuk report. Method performance, so buat dalam bentuk table, precision and so on lah about the sensitivity, and then include you punya summary ataupun conclusions. Okay, so untuk conclusion similar macam eksperimen 1 dan 2. Okay, this is the guideline. I think you will not be getting the same summary, maybe a bit different lah, tapi cara untuk kita state discussion ataupun conclusion will be a similar one. Okay, and then recommendations lah untuk dapatkan better result and so on, you should mention. Okay, dalam bentuk table ataupun add on after you dah present the table for the recommendation, you can have one more paragraph in the statement untuk mentions what is other recommendations lah, but in terms of statement lah dalam bentuk satu paragraph. Okay, okay, any question about this one? Experiment number 3. Soalan tak?
Tak ada madam.
Faham madam.
Okay, kejap madam. Mana tadi itu ni? Kejap. Dia tak keluar. Kejap nak play video tapi lambat sikit lah pula internet kat office ni. Okay, kejap kejap. Kena share audio.
This is a demonstration of a free chlorine test using the Hawk DR900 colorimeter.
Press the power button to turn the meter on. The display will show the last test performed. Press the Options button and scroll to All Programs. Press the Select button. Scroll to Program 80, Free and Total Chlorine, and press the Start button. Prepare your blank by filling a sample cell with 10 ml of sample. Clean the prepared sample cell and insert the blank into the cell holder. Make sure the diamond on the sample cell is facing toward you. Place the instrument cap over the sample cell. Press the 0 button. The display will show 0.00 milligrams per liter. Fill a second sample cell with 10 ml of sample. Add the contents of 1 powder pillow to the sample cell. Swirl the sample cell for 20 seconds to mix. A pink color will develop if chlorine is present. Immediately clean the prepared sample cell, and within 60 seconds of adding the reagent, insert the prepared sample cell into the cell holder. Make sure the diamond on the sample cell is facing toward you, and place the instrument cap over the sample cell. Press the Read button to display results.
Okay, dah habiskan tadi? Okay, ada soalan tak? Boleh dengar tak? Ada soalan nak tanya?
Tak ada madam.